So after 2 grueling days of metric system, we're going to look at another unit of measurement, but it's something that we use on a daily basis, and we call it time. How do we do units of time? So we're talking about minutes, seconds, hours, days, weeks, months, yada, yada, yada. Most of this should be review. But go ahead and fill in your page 185 with me. It's going to be kind of like our notes together today. So we know, and we know this because we're smart scholars, 1 minute equals 60 seconds. We know that one, right? 1 hour equals 60 minutes. All right. We know that 1 day equals 24 hours. And 1 week, you have 7 days. All of these things are units of time, the length something takes. And they build on one another. So 1 year, we know, has how many days? 365. 1 year has 52 weeks. 1 year has 12 months. And a leap year has how many days? That extra one, 366 days. So knowing these units of time, you should be able to convert between them. So the first one we have is converting between days and hours and minutes, years, months, and so on. I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I'm going to have you complete the rest to bring the class tomorrow, because I think this is something that you should be able to do. So I'm going to try and do 1, if not 2, of the remaining of this page. So we know that 1 day is 24 hours. If we want to go 2 days, we would do 24 times 2. Which we know is 48. And we would just continue this pattern to fill in this table. 24 3 times, 24 4 times. If you have 3 hours and you want to know how many minutes that is, you would multiply 60 times 3, and you would get 180 minutes. Again, you would continue this pattern to fill in for 5 hours and 7 hours, because you're breaking up the shorter amount of time and multiplying out the larger part of time. So if 3 years has 36 months, and we know that 1 year is 12 months, how much is 6 years? What would we multiply there? That one's kind of tricky. We got to kind of think above this, that 1 year is 12 months. So we would do 12 times 3 is 36. So to figure out how many months in 6 years, you would do 12 months for 6 years is 72. All right. Ooh, the seconds. So we got to think about looking up here. This one's probably the hardest one in my book. 1 hour has 3,600 seconds. Well, how did I figure that out? How did they figure that out? How do they know that? Well, we know that there's 60 seconds in a minute. And we know that there's 60 minutes in an hour. So to get this right here, they did 60 times 60. Because there's 60 minutes in an hour and 60 seconds per minute. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. 60 minutes I think it's seconds per minute. So you have to multiply it multiple times. So if I have 2 hours, I know that that in minutes is 60 times 2 is 120 minutes. I need to know 60 seconds. $7,200 seconds. I have to take the minutes and multiply it by that many seconds each time. So in this case, I would do 3 times 60, and then that amount times 60. So try to solve these next two, and we'll talk about it in Math Workshop tomorrow. And remember, a wrong answer isn't a bad thing. We like wrong answers because we can learn from them and we will discover from them. So don't harp all over yourself if you're not getting it 100% correct. So 36 minutes equals how many seconds? Well, there's 60 seconds per minute. So I'm going to do 36 times 60. 36 times 60. 6, carry the 1, 18, 19. No. Okay, so multiplying, I was multiplying wrong. 36 minutes, and there's 60 seconds in each one of those minutes. So I have to multiply that, and I get 2,160 seconds. If I want to do 72 hours, I have to do, I know that in each one of those hours, there's 60 minutes. So I have to multiply 72 hours 60 times to figure out how many minutes there are in 72 hours. I know that there are 365 days in a year. If I want to know how many days are in 6 years, I have to do that number 6 times. I want you to go ahead and try this with the rest of these here using our basic table. This is very review. I know you can handle this. Just think it through. What do I need to know? And if you need to, draw a picture. What do I need to know? So I'm skipping page 186 just for the moment because I want to keep kind of going on the time trip. You need to imagine these clocks as the hands are moving. So if it says you can imagine the hands moving to tell how much time has passed. So how many hours have passed since 12 o'clock? And I'm going to say 12 o'clock, both hands are here. Both hands are here. Both hands are here. So you need to think of that in your head. And we need to figure out how many hours have passed. So the hands went around one whole time. So 1 hour has passed. How many minutes? 60 minutes. So here's noon. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours have passed. And 3 times 60 would be 180 minutes. I know that because 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to add that 0 in for multiplying by a 10. I would like for you to try 26 by yourself. Now, on numbers 27, 28, and 29, it says how many hours and how many minutes does the clock show? So now I'm asking you to actually read the clock. So if the shorthand is your hours and your long hand is your minute hand. I always say that's the one that's doing all the work, so it has to be longer. So here I noticed that my hour hand is short and it's pointing to the 2. So 2 hours have passed. How many minutes? Well, you count. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 20 minutes has passed. So the time is 2:20. Again, the shorthand is here, but it's not quite to the 6. It hasn't gone past the 6. So you know that only 5 hours have elapsed or has gone by. And if I were starting at the top of the hour, I would go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. So this clock is telling me it's 5:35, depending on the time of day, if it's AM or PM. So I want you to try 29 on your own and practice these skills of exercising your counting and looking at an analog clock. How many hours and minutes have passed between the times shown in 27 and 28? So this one's hard because you have to think about how long is it from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then what the difference is between 2:20 and 5:35. So 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock is 1 hour. 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock is 2 hours. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock is 3 hours. So we have 3 hours that have transpired. But we have 2:20 and 5:35. How many minutes is that? 5, 10, 15 hours. I'm sorry, minutes. 3 hours and 15 minutes. So in order to do number 29 correctly, and maybe I should do 29 with you just to make sure you're able to do the bottom two here. We see the shorthand is past the 7, but not quite on the 8. So only 7 hours have transpired. We're going to say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48 minutes. That one required me to be a little bit, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't count right. Did you catch that? 50. This is 45. This is 50. 51, 52, 53 minutes. Because it's on the third line past the 10. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53. That one was hard. So it should be 7:53. So if I'm trying to figure out between 5 and 7, the way I do it is I say 5 to 6 is 1 hour. 6 to 7 is 2 hours. So we have 2 hours that have gone by. I'm at 35 to 53. So that many more minutes. So 5, 10, 15, plus 3 more. 16, 17, 18 minutes. I hope you were able to see that. I want you to try 32 on your own and try to practice it. And we're going to do some more of these elapsed time things in class tomorrow in math workshop. So don't panic. I'm going to do a quick 3-minute video on line plots. So you can finish or pause or repeat any of this to get for 185 and 187. 186 is line plots, and I'm going to try and do a separate teeny tiny video for that one.